He honestly, you need more people like Russell Wilson in the NFL. Just genuinely hopeful and,
It didn't end great for Russ in Pittsburgh because he kept on having to play Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Right.
Doesn't usually end great for anyone who's in that situation. But he did have a really good start in Pittsburgh, and he was 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, had a winning record with the Steelers. I think that there seems to be a lot of vitriol towards this signing. I don't really understand. I think this is a perfectly reasonable signing for the Giants.
Given where they are and given what the market is, 1,000%. So he may not have had the best year under Arthur Smith. Name a quarterback in the NFL history that has had a great year under Arthur Smith. Like Ryan Tannehill was like,
He was
okay.
That was the best one.
Right, like there was one year where Ryan Tannehill was like, oh yeah, okay, and Ryan Tannehill got paid. But honestly, it's not like Arthur Smith is suddenly this guru. He's not Kevin O'Connell that's going to suddenly take somebody. And so, I think there's an argument that listen. To me, the better comparison is hey, was he great with Sean Payton, who is a good offensive mind, and so. But given where the market is, given where the Giants are, I think I agree with you. It's a perfect, Russell Wilson is a professional quarterback, right? He will run Brian Daboll's offense, and as much as I would have loved to see, from a pure entertainment value, Jameis Winston as the starter, because that's just fun with the quotes and everything like that. And you never know, is it a touchdown or a pick six? Wide range of outcomes anytime Jameis goes back to pass, but Russell Wilson will run this offense. He will sustain drives more. I think this is, I think, this is an upgrade for Nabers on Twitter, and people are like, are you crazy, over Jameis? And I'm like, yeah, because I actually think they will be in scoring position more often. Russell will run this offense. Malik Nabers got 170 targets last year. It's not like he's all of a sudden going to get more. The volume is always going to be there for Malik Nabers, and so you just want somebody who is accurate, which Russell Wilson is, and is going to get them in scoring position more often than I think Jameis would. Russell can still throw the deep ball.
Yeah, saying that he's an upgrade for Malik Nabers over Jameis Winston, I don't think that's even debatable. Because like you said, you want to keep the offense on the field more. In fact, that's what he kind of did for the Steelers, that whatever Arthur Smith allowed him to do. But
Pickens was great once Russell Wilson took over.
Yeah, for Malik Nabers, whether it was Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson, first off, Malik Nabers was wide receiver 6 last year in fantasy points per game, so it can only get better, or at least at the very worst be the same thing,
right.
So,
and he did that with Tommy DeVito and Daniel Jones and this mismatch.
like you say, Matthew, with Russell Wilson with the deep ball, which he still can very much do, that will help Malik Nabers because he didn't have that until the end of the season when they got Drew Lock in there. But now you get, like you said, a quarterback who could run the offense, kind of keep them in games more. I think it's great for Malik Nabers.
Yeah. Also, with all the Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito stuff and Daniel Jones coming off the injury, I think we forget that a few years ago, Brian Daboll was the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
He's the guy who, played a huge role in Josh Allen's development, who took the Giants to the playoffs out of nowhere with Daniel Jones, turning him into, putting him through a really good season that first year that Daboll was there. So this is Russell Wilson, for all his flaws, he is probably the best quarterback the Giants have had since Eli Manning, really. And I think that with the weapons that they have, you would hope that Daboll can
that one year, that one Daniel Jones year where they went to Minnesota and they won the road playoff game. So
Jones was probably playing at a higher level that year than Wilson would be expected to this year. But it's fine. Last year, by the way, Russell Wilson was QB 15 in points per game. Middle of the pack QB2, which is about what he is. He doesn't run. He's a low volume passer, right? They're going to be a conservative offense. Out of the 32 qualified quarterbacks in QBR, he was 22nd. So he was the 10th worst. That sounds about that's about right. He's a mid to lower tier QB2, both in the NFL and in fantasy at this range. But again, if you're the Giants, what else? The issue is, and we've talked about this. The issue is this is entirely on Giants management. Yeah. Ownership. No, I take it back. On Giants ownership. Brian Daboll, and this is going to come up later in the show, but Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen are playing for their jobs this year. They've got to put, they don't have the luxury of saying, we'll take a flyer on Shadur Sanders. We'll take a flyer on a rookie quarterback and live with it, because they're probably not going to be able to trade up to get Cam Ward. They probably explored that market, and the Titans have said, no, or they want way too much, and the Giants are willing to do it. So they're okay, well, we're not getting Cam Ward.
So it's like we could, and maybe they still take Shadir Sanders, but they need to win this year. They need to put out a competent team. And so Russell Wilson, given the options available, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco or somebody, like Russ was the best option, given that's what Shane and Daboll want to do. He was the best option for the Giants, given that. And again, like to me, ownership of the Giants either should have fired those two guys and said we're starting over with brand new coaches, or given them an extension so that they're not doing what they're doing. But given all those givens, I think they've done the best move they can, given everything.
I think the criticism is that, well, the Giants don't have a plan. You know what's better than, I think it's better to delay having a plan for a year than go all in on a bad plan this year and commit yourself to that long term.
Especially if they don't think there's a franchise quarterback. Again, like everyone says,
and they also might not get him.
That's right.
You know, so they got to try to play their cards right the best way they can.
Like there's a very real chance that Cam Ward and Shadir Sanders go 1-2.
Yeah. And then just imagine if you have no Russell Wilson, no Jameis, you got Tommy DeVito, those two rookie quarterbacks, then you really, USOL then.
Yes.
Okay, another veteran signing.
Lawrence, what does SOL, for the kids at home watching, what does SOL stand for?
Sheets out of luck.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.